Shopping, spending all my cash. Shouldn't be out with your friends, talking all that trash. You ain't built for comfort, sure ain't built for speed. Come on down to my place and I will show you where you should be. Between the sheets and under the covers where you ought to be. Between the sheets and under the covers, make sweet love to me. Between the sheets and under the covers where you ought to be. Between the sheets and under the covers, baby, just you and me. Shouldn't be in honky-tonk, dancing your life away. Shouldn't hang out with the band till the break of day. Don't tell your man you're such a good girl when you don't really know. Now come on down to my place and I will show you where you should go. Between the sheets and under the covers where you ought to be. Between the sheets and under the covers, making sweet love to me. Between the sheets and under the covers where you ought to be. Between the sheets and under the covers.
right, I am alive. Despite Dub Styles' RIP message on my YouTube video, I am alive. Where is everybody? I immediately got a thumbs up there, but there's nobody watching. Yeah, man, it really does make a difference when you are on consistently, and then when you fuck that up, man, your audience just vanishes. They're like, fuck this guy. I didn't, I tried to start at 5, a little late today, but I'm glad I got started as close as I did. It's just one of many small steps toward getting my life back to normal as my life is. It was a fucking nightmare that I just went through. I haven't smoked any pot at all today. And I have drastically cut back on the amount of pot I'm smoking to save money, and also so that when I do smoke it, it actually does something. It's funny, I hear, Joe or other people talk about Joey Diaz and like, oh, he had 1,000 milligrams of THC and nobody does that. I've done it many times on this show where I had one of those drinks that was, I forget how many milligrams it was. I think it was 100. It was supposed to be 10 milligram doses in the drink, and I would just drink the whole thing. I don't, well, now I do, but I wasn't getting high. I mean, that's been the case for a long time, where I'm like, I don't think that Joey Diaz's tolerance is any greater than me or a lot of my pothead friends that wake and bake and smoke all day and night. But that's not a good thing, because you're not really getting anything out of it at that point. It's just a habit, It's like, I'm not really getting high. I'm just doing this thing because that's what I do. I wake and bake, and and every time I have an inkling, I pack another bowl, smoke another joint, whatever. So I've already saved myself a lot of money because I'm just spending so much less because I'm smoking so much less. And when I do smoke, man, I can, I'm back to one of those, those people that are like, oh man, I don't know how you do it. I can't smoke that much. Or, oh, I smoke too much. I gotta sit in my car for a while. And I understand how that can happen. But now I'm one of those people where I take, I smoked one big fat bowl the other night and was like, uh-oh, I overdid it. Smoked too much, too fast. Keith Richards in his book talked about that, about how a lot of drug users, they get themselves into trouble because they build up a huge tolerance. Let's say you're just shooting a lot of heroin every day, and your body's used to that. And then you quit heroin for 6 months, and you're like, I'm going to do some heroin. And in your mind, you remember how much heroin you used to do, but your body doesn't. So you start shooting the same amount that you used to shoot, and you fucking end up dead or in some world of hurt. Very easy to do that. And so with the weed thing, it's very easy to, smoke as much as I do and then not smoke for a while, or to drastically reduce it and decide, fuck it, I'm gonna smoke another bowl, or I'm gonna smoke whatever the fuck, and then next thing you know, you're like, man, my brain knows not what my body knows. Anyway, I got to get into the story about what happened to me. I'll explain the whole thing. I don't really want to get into it until I feel like I'm talking to somebody, though. Like right now, I know there's like one person watching. So whoever you are, thank you. But if you want to speak up in the chat room and let me know, hey, it's me, tell me the story, I'll do it. I hate just speaking into the ether. You know what I mean? Doing ether. I'm interested in that. Huffing some ether. Few things are more depraved than a man in the depths of an ether binge. But I don't like to just yell into the ether. I want to feel like I'm at least connecting with somebody. So I think I'm going to light this joint up. It's the first weed I've smoked in today. First weed I've smoked since early yesterday, I believe. There is one related reason too about me. Not only is my saving money and it's affecting more me when I smoke, I'm starting to think that constantly smoking is having a negative effect on my blood pressure, which is related to the story I'm going to tell you. It makes a lot more sense now why I kept thinking I was having a heart attack when I tell you the story. So, all right, well, we'll get into that as soon as somebody wants to fucking make their presence known and blah, diddy, blah. I guess until that, let's just talk. Let's just do what we do and rant about some shit. This is the first thing I just saw this. Hey, Bodie Olmos. I never expect you to be here, Bodie. Man, it meant a lot to me that you were worried about me. Thank you very much, Bodie. I really do appreciate that. There was a handful of people that that reached out, and like I didn't make a thing of it. It's not like I told everybody what happened, but I told a person here or there, and a few other people found out, and it's always cool to think people give a shit. So, what is this? All right, turn this down. But you and I'll see you soon, my friend. Not this weekend. I got a bunch of shit this weekend. Yeah, no, I am, today is my first day without any medications. That was the other thing about not smoking. It's like, I felt like I got to get everything out of my body. It's like, I just want it all out because over the last few weeks, my body was turned into a chemistry set. Why is this doing this? Hold on. Let me try this one more time. And boom. All right, sorry, fucking with this air conditioner, but there we go. And yeah, I'm gonna go to jiu-jitsu tonight. This is my first time doing the cast in over a week, and I'm going to jiu-jitsu tonight. And fuck, I lost a few pounds. That was a good thing about not eating for a few days. All right, well, let's just talk about this. Bassist from ZZ Top died. This sucks. Dusty Hill, bassist, secondary lead vocalist for ZZ Top, died. He was 72 years old. Passed away in his sleep. How do they know he passed away in his sleep? How do you know that he didn't wake up clutching his chest going, and then died? I mean, you found him. It's like, well, he was in bed. We found him dead in bed. So obviously he was sleeping when he died. How do you know? Maybe he was struggling to call 911 on the cell phone. I don't know. I never saw ZZ Top live. ZZ Top was a nickname I've had since I was little. You know, hey, ZZ Top, you know, being a Zach, you get all the Z's. When I was real little, my nickname was Zaxxon. It was a video game in the 80s, Zaxxon. Zaxxon. Hey, Rudy Lotta. I got to do that again. I covered it up. All right, so now that I got Rudy and Bodie here, yeah, Zaxxon was a tough game, man, because it was 3D, and it was sometimes hard to judge. Like if you were going over the wall, you know, you had all these like walls and notches in the walls and shit that you had to avoid, and sometimes you like I'm going right over that wall, and you just plowed right into it. It was the perspective on that game. It was tough. It was cool looking, but the 3D was a little tough. All right. I'm going to tell you guys what happened. I'm going to try to not make this exceptionally long. So, Some of you already know this, but this back part of this, but I'm going to explain because it played a role in the whole thing. About a month ago or so, 5 weeks ago, something like that, somebody I didn't know that goes to my gym, my jiu-jitsu gym, was having chest pains, went across the street to the hospital, had a heart attack, and died. The night I found that out, another friend of mine from jiu-jitsu was talking, and I had no idea, but a couple of years prior, he had a quadruple bypass after having a heart attack. And way, younger than me, he was like 37 at the time, I'm 47. So I already have a lot of issues with anxiety. You guys know that. Although I got to tell you, at this very moment, anxiety is almost a welcome partner compared to what I just went through. It's like, fuck, anxiety ain't shit after what just happened. But, all right, so I already had it in my head. Okay, and then here's the other thing. Many years ago, like 15 years ago, I was on high blood pressure medicine. It's before I started jiu-jitsu. Well, I turned my whole life around. I cut back on the amount of drinking I was doing, started eating healthy, started meditating, started going to jiu-jitsu. I really transformed my life on every level. The transformation began about 15 years ago. So my doctor took me off the high blood pressure medicine, but I guess it's always been kind of in the back of my head. And now fast forward to 5 weeks ago, I find out a good friend of mine had a heart attack and this other guy had a heart attack and died. And that planted the seed. And I'm like, fuck, for the last year and a half, I haven't been exercising like I usually do. I haven't been eating the way I usually do. And I've been drinking a lot more. And basically got my, I just doing everything wrong. And I kind of felt like my heart was pounding a lot. And I already had this huge fear that I was going to be in jiu-jitsu sparring and like have a panic attack. Well, I would confuse, that I would start to get chest pains and that I was going to have a heart attack rather and just fucking die. So basically my worst nightmare came true for somebody else in the class. Again, I didn't know him. I feel horrible about it, but he was, I think he was younger than me, I think, and was in like the beginner's class or something, so I didn't know him. But so that's the setup, that I'm already insane in the membrane with this fear, right? Not really. It's sort of an unfounded fear. Nobody in my family has issues with heart disease or high blood pressure. My dad is 91 years old. It was really just this weird disaster brain, anxiety-driven kind of recurring thought I had, right? So that was the seed was planted. The other thing that happened was I went to my doctor about 9 months ago or so, and my blood pressure was a little high. And he was like, maybe we should put you on something. And he didn't do it. And my thought was I better get back to my healthy lifestyle because I don't want to be on any fucking medication. Okay, so there you have the seeds are all planted. And some of you heard me talk about this already, because I expressed my anxiety about this on the show. So now it's time for me to go to Florida. And before I get on the plane, I cut my ankle. I had cut my ankle 2 weeks before leaving for Florida. And the morning I was leaving for Florida, I noticed it was hurting. And I looked at it, and it looked pretty infected. I get on the plane, and I know infections are no joke. I had a friend of mine died twice, and they had brought him back twice because he had an infection and went septic on him, or he got sepsis. I don't know. Do you say it went septic or he had sepsis? However you word it. And so I know no infections are no joke. I even contacted a virtual care doctor before I got on the plane to make sure I was okay to fly and that I didn't need to deal with it right away, because my friend thought his infection was no big deal and they sent him to the emergency room, and luckily they did, because again, he ended up flatlining twice. So I get on the plane. I arrive in Fort Lauderdale. I get to my dad's house, and I'm like, I'm going to take a look at this. I take off my shoe and sock, and my ankle is the size of a fucking grapefruit. I'm like, ew, no. So my sister takes me to urgent care. They cut open, they rip the scab off, drain it. They x-rayed my ankle to make sure that, hey, Dub Style. They x-rayed my ankle to make sure that the infection wasn't in my bones, right? So she says, if the infection got into your bones, we're going to have to give you much stronger antibiotics. So let's take a look. She came back and said, no, it looks like you're good. It doesn't look like the infection made it into your ankle bones. She then prescribed, so after she drained the infection, she gave me a prescription for antibiotics called Bactrim. Bactrim is in a family of antibiotics called sulfas. Now, you could be allergic to Bactrim and be fine with other sulfas, or you could be allergic to sulfa. Point is, I didn't know about any of this. So I take the, I'll come back to the itching episode. Ends up not being, I'm sure it was funny to watch, but what ended up happening to me was quite unfunny. Anyway, so I go home. So here's the other thing. When I go to urgent care in Florida for the ankle, she said, my blood pressure was a little high, but she didn't make a thing of it. So I get the antibiotics, I go home, and then I go back to urgent care for a follow-up a few days later. When I go to urgent care for the follow-up, they said, wow, your blood pressure is really high. So they made me hang out for like a half hour so that they could take it again, see if I would relax. They thought maybe I was anxious, right? So it was still high. And they said, listen, we think you should take your blood pressure tomorrow morning. And if it's still as high as it is now, you need to go to the emergency room. So remember what I told you, that I was already concerned about having a heart attack? I told you the setup, that this was already a thing in my head that I was scared of, and that I was already concerned about my blood pressure. And now they're telling me my blood pressure is like 177 over, 98 or whatever the fuck it was. It was high. They're like, if your blood pressure tomorrow is in the high 170s or you hit 180, you need to go to the ER. So now I start to fucking panic. Now the anxiety kicks in. And now I'm really falling apart because my blood pressure, I'm going, you got to calm down. You're only going to make your blood pressure higher. You're going to have a fucking stroke or a heart attack or some shit, right? So I'm trying to calm myself down, and my sister picks me up from urgent care, and I tell her what's going on. And we get home, and I'm telling them, I'm like, I don't know what to do. They're like, well, should we take, they're like, you're okay. I'm like, I'm having trouble breathing. And they're like, we'll just take some breaths. And I'm like, listen, I know the difference between when I'm anxious and I know my body and I'm having trouble breathing. But I'm blaming the anxiety. I'm like, I don't know if it's anxiety, but I'm telling you, it doesn't feel like it. That's what I'm telling everybody. And so then the next day, I have a virtual appointment with my doctor back here in Santa Monica. And I tell him what happened. And he said, let's go ahead and put you on some high blood pressure medication. And, well, it turns out I'm not a hypochondriac. And in this case, I definitely was not a hypochondriac because, as you're going to see, I was right about everything. But I'm not a hypochondriac. I mean, just overall, I have this one fucking thing in my head all the time about the heart attack. It's just I don't know. I don't know how that got planted in my head, but it's just the way it is. And so I have this virtual doctor's appointment with my doctor back here. He puts me on high blood pressure medication, says, take the blood pressure medicine, and I'll see you in 2 weeks, and we'll figure out what's going on with you. Because urgent care is telling me, Zach, it could be your thyroid. It could be a vitamin deficiency. There's a lot of reasons your blood pressure could be high. Calm down, right? And so he's telling me, he's like, listen, don't worry about any of that. Take the high blood pressure pill. I'll see you in 2 weeks. So I start taking the high blood pressure pill. And my brother has a high blood pressure monitor at his apartment. And so I'm taking it couple times a day every day, and it's still pretty fucking high. It's still like, it's not, instead of 177 over like 98, now it's like 160 over 90. You know what I mean? It ain't good. The blood pressure's still pretty fucking high. And so then 4th of July happens, and we go outside to watch fireworks. And it's Florida, summertime. There's a lot of bugs out. We were only out there maybe, 30 minutes for the show. But I notice I've got mosquito bites on both my arms. And they're fucking big, and they're really, really itching. And I scratch them so much that you could still see maybe that it's kind of hard with that angle. But I scratched. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see on camera. There's 2 left, to the point that, they started bleeding. And my nephew, we were at dinner, and he's like, Jesus Christ, what happened to your arms? Because both my arms were all fucking scabbed up. He's like, are you a diabetic? I'm like, no, man, I got chewed up by mosquitoes on 4th of July. I'm like, I don't know how I'm the only one. Nobody else got bit. Nobody else was complaining about it. I'm like, maybe you Floridians are used to this shit, and my soft Santa Monica, there's no bugs anywhere to be seen. Ass is, they just feasted on me. I don't know. Maybe the mosquitoes were like fucking West Coast. Fucking, maybe I'm like sushi to them. That's what, So I didn't realize I didn't get bit by mosquitoes. I didn't know it at the time, but the reason I couldn't breathe and the reason my arms got what I thought were mosquito bites, they were actually hives. I had broken out in hives, which I've never broken out in hives in my life. And and there wasn't a lot of them. There was maybe 8 of them. Like 8 of these bumps on my arms. And they were, I thought they were mosquito bites. I didn't know at the time that I was having an allergic reaction to the Bactrim. And so the week goes by real quick, and everybody wants me to stay an extra week in Florida. So I call up JetBlue, and they say, hey, actually, you're traveling on a really busy day. If you switch your flight to next week, we'll give you $20 in credit. So I was agonizing about whether or not I should stay for another week. And my family is like, why is this such a decision to stay another week? I said, because my heart is pounding out of my chest. I can't breathe. And I think I should go home to go see my doctor. Because here's the thing. I don't know what's going to happen. So far, I haven't seen a bill. But when I went to urgent care in Florida, they told me at first that they took my insurance, and then they said, oh, I have Oscar. They're like, we take Oscar, but you have a plan that's in California, so we don't take your Oscar plan here. It's like, wait, so if I have a medical problem and I'm not in California, I'm not covered by insurance? Like, what the fuck? Whatever. They took my insurance card anyway, so maybe they just went ahead and accepted it. I don't know what the fuck. But I think the only bill I've gotten so far is for the x-ray. And it was like a discount, you know. But when I went back to urgent care for the follow-up on the infection on my ankle, and they saw my blood pressure was 177 over 100, it didn't occur to any of these jack-offs that maybe I was having an allergic reaction. It's like, why did I go back for the follow-up if you're not going to, follow up? Now, I get it. They're concerned primarily with the ankle, because that's what I went in there for, was this infected cut on my ankle. But still, when you take my blood pressure and it's through the roof, don't you maybe think, what's changed for this guy? You know? But no, nobody fucking figures it out. And so my family thinks I'm nuts because they think I don't want to stay another week because I want to go home to see my doctor, because I was like, I want to go home where the fucking doctor takes my insurance. So, and I don't feel right. And they all think I'm just having anxiety from being out of state. I'm like, no, I don't. That's not how my anxiety works. I essentially only have anxiety in one situation, and it's anticipatory anxiety before shows. That's it. I don't know why it is. I've been performing since I was a little kid. It's all I do is perform. I don't know why when I book a gig that I'm filled with dread until I step on stage. But you know what? I'll tell you what, what's her name? Simone Biles, that quit the Olympics. Am I anxious around scuba instructors? No, I'm not. I am not. That's funny. That's pretty funny. No, it's really just shows. But that Simon Says, puking bile, that I hate the Olympics. If you don't know that about me, I think it's the fucking dumbest shit ever. But aside from that, she's quit because of her mental health, and people are goofing on her and some people are praising her. All I know, man, is every show I've ever done, whether it's a kid's show in a living room or fucking an open mic or a corporate event for 20 grand, I'm fucking just as anxious and fucked up as they're all equally, you know? I will say this, before COVID happened, I was gigging so much. I had gigs almost every day of the week, and I felt like I had overcome this, by the way. Because when you're performing all the time, it's when you have a gig 3 weeks from now and nothing but, let's say you book a corporate gig for $8,000 and you're like, and it's the only thing you have from now for the next 3 weeks, and it's all that's on your mind. That's what fucks me up. But if I book 5 corporate gigs in a row for $8,000 a piece, and I'm going from one to the next, then it's like no problem at all. I'm in a groove. Anyway, I don't give a fuck, but except that I'm like, oh, I'm tougher than an Olympian because I don't fucking, despite the horrible anxiety, I do my goddamn job. Anyway, so I digress. I'm telling my family, listen, they don't take my insurance out here for some stupid reason. I can't breathe. My heart's pounding out of my chest. My blood pressure is still like over 160 every time I take it. 160 over 90 or whatever the fuck it was. And I want to be by my hospital, by my doctor. And they think I'm just anxious. And I'm like, why would I be anxious here? It's not that. There's something wrong with me. I decided, fuck it. I'm going to stay another week. So I stayed another week in Florida. Now, the antibiotics, the Bactrim, was only a week long. So for the second week, I wasn't on it. And I did start feeling better day by day. I was like, I'm not feeling like I can breathe again, right? And, my blood pressure came down quite a bit. And I was like, I'm not going to. And then I stopped taking my blood pressure 3 times a day every day because everything was getting better, right? I'm like, all right, just ride this out. You're going to see your doctor. I had a schedule, an appointment scheduled with my doctor regardless. I'm like, you're going to see him soon. Just chill. So the second week was much better. Come back from Florida. And I go to see my doctor, and I was taking the blood pressure pills, and my blood pressure was still kind of high. And I was like, listen, what's up with that? I said, I'll tell you this. I do have issues with anxiety. I've been exercising way less than I usually do for the last year and a half. I haven't been eating as well as I normally do. And I've been drinking more than I normally do. So I'm doing everything wrong this last year and a half. I said, but I'm ready now to hit it hard, get back on my proper, diet, go to jiu-jitsu. I said, I've never weighed this much in my life. By the way, everybody's telling me, even at jiu-jitsu, they're like, hey, you look really good. I'm like, I got to lose like 15 pounds minimum. And then when I got to Florida, people are like, oh, you look good. I'm like, I'm fat. So by my standards, I'm like, who's this fat ass? But nobody I've spoken to thought I was like overweight. And this doctor was like, well, you've gained 16 pounds. I'm like, well, I can lose that, in 5 weeks. He's like, all right, well, why don't we do this? He looks at my ankle. Now, I thought my ankle looked okay, but he felt like I needed the second round of antibiotics. So he goes, why don't we do this? I'll see you, show me, let's make an appointment for 2 weeks from now. And let's see if you can lose like 5 pounds or so. And that should bring your blood pressure way down. And if that's all we need to do, that's all we need to do. I was like, okay. And he goes, I'm gonna prescribe a second round of the Bactrim and make sure that ankle's completely cleared up. So I get Bactrim again. Now remember, I had no idea that the first time I was on this that I was having an allergic reaction. So there I am taking Bactrim, and then comes last Monday, the itching show, the last cast I did. So before I got in the shower, I noticed I had a couple of those bumps on me. I'm like, what the fuck? I know I don't have mosquitoes here. What are these bumps? So then I got in the shower. By the time I got out of the shower, I had more bumps on the inside of my thighs and on my arms, like right here. And then I started the broadcast, and I told you guys, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I got all these bumps on me, and they're really itchy. I'm going to try to talk to you guys and ignore them. And they were getting worse and worse, and then I said, all right, guys, hold on a second, and I played some Reverend Carl, and I went into the bathroom to see what was going on. I lift up my shirt, take off my pants, and I've got fucking hives everywhere. If you want me to bother, I could show you a picture. As a matter of fact, I sent a picture of it to Bodie. Let's see. I'll show you guys a little sample. And it got worse than this. But, here, let me find it. Well, I don't delete the episodes. That episode's still up. It's just set to, you got to be a member of the fan club to watch the episodes. I do the episodes live, and then they go behind the paywall. All right, here's and it got way worse, but this was, and you can't see in the shadow, but yeah, this is these fucking hives. And so I came back out of the bathroom. I said, I got to go, guys. I ended the broadcast, went to urgent care. And I ran into my neighbors, who one's a PA and one's a nurse. They told me to take some Benadryl. Because I showed one of them, like, look, what is going on with me? I'm having some kind of, they're like, you're having an allergic reaction. I said, I'm on this antibiotic Bactrim. They're like, oh, you're allergic to sulfa. Get Benadryl, take 2. And I did that, but no. I did. This was not before the broadcast, Dub Style. This was, I think I took this after I got back from urgent care, and it got worse than this. No. When I started the broadcast, it was just a couple of small bumps. And then when I told you guys to hold on a minute, there was a lot more of them. It was like in that 30 minutes, it was fucking everywhere. And on my dick, it was like the head of my cock had one of those fucking hives on it. My back, it was everywhere. It was on my head, the back of my, like all in the back of my head. Dude, it was fucking everywhere. That picture is like not even as bad as it got. So I take the Benadryl. I go to urgent care. The doctor seemed like she was pretty sharp and a good doctor, but she was kind of cunty. She walks in. I go, hi, how are you? She's like, I just want this day to be over. If I have to see one more COVID patient because, they decided to not get the vaccine, I'm going to scream. So I'm like, well, I'm fully vaccinated. I got a whole other problem. And she was just short with me, but she gave me a shot of steroids and then prescribed me these oral steroids, right? She goes, take Benadryl, take these steroids. And we'll note that it was that you have a Bactrim allergy. So then I go home. And then hey, Goisermas Ing, right? Goisermas is Ing, right? So I get home after, and that's the picture that I just showed you guys. So so it's insane. Imagine the worst itch you've ever had, but fucking everywhere. So my heart's pounding. I'm itching everywhere, and I can't fucking breathe. Like, every breath is like, and I'm getting fucking panicked, right? I thought you were in. So I'm relying on the fucking meditation shit. I mean, thank God for meditation. I used, you got to practice mindfulness and meditation so that when you need it, you can do it. In the middle of a crisis is not the time to wish you could control your mind. Or not control it. That's the wrong word. The right word would be observe your mind. And instead of becoming identical with thoughts, making thoughts something you observe. So then I'm just fucking getting tortured, right? So Sheila had just started a new job. It's like she's like her first week of work. She comes over and to take care of me. And in the morning, she goes to work. I get up and I feel fucking awful, right? This is Tuesday morning. So I have this package of steroids. I'm supposed to take 2. So I take 2 of them. And I'm like, oof. Something is wrong. And I go completely white. Like stark white. Like I'm going to pass out. And sweat just pours out of every part of my body. I'm talking, I leave a puddle of sweat in the bathroom. And I'm nauseous. And I told Sheila what was going on. This fucking girl, her first week at a really good job, she leaves early to come take care of me. This fucking woman's a saint. And next thing you know, and I'm telling her, I can't fucking breathe. I'm nauseous. I can't eat anything. And I said, and then it happened. I started throwing up everything in me, which was all I had in me was fucking Gatorade and water and like ginger ale. It's all liquid. I throw everything up until I'm puking Simone bile. Everything in my body did the fucking gymnastics out of my throat, out of my gullet. So Sheila's taking care of me. And then she's like, I think I need to take you to the emergency room. You're pretty fucked up. And I said, let me just sip. So I stopped taking the steroids. I couldn't hold anything down. I didn't want to take the steroids because I didn't want to just vomit them up. Like, I couldn't eat anything. I would eat a cracker. I'd throw it up. So I said, let me take baby sips of Gatorade and see how that goes and see if I can start holding something down before we go to the ER. So that's what I did. And then at about 7 in the morning, I threw everything up. At this point, I hadn't eaten for 2 days. So this was the start of day 3 of me not eating. And I said, that can't be good. I said, it's one thing if I was hydrating. I said, but what am I going to go? If we don't go to the ER, this is going to be 3 days of not eating. I'm already 2 full days with no food. And so she took me to the ER. They gave me a fucking IV. And in the IV, there was Benadryl and steroids. They gave me some anti-nausea shit, fluids. Gave me a second bag. And the steroids helped more than anything else. The Benadryl and the steroids. But I couldn't take the steroids because I couldn't hold anything down. So the fact they put them in the IV got them into my system. They got the fluids in me. Then I was able to hold stuff down. Then I was able to take the oral steroids. And then over the next several days, I basically, I couldn't stop scratching. And so Sheila would like squeeze me or like press on me. This fucking chick did this for hours. I remember thinking like, I don't know how she has the physical ability to continue squeezing and pressing on me, because I couldn't, otherwise I would scratch. I couldn't not. It was, my whole entire body was on fire and itchy, and is one of the worst things I've ever gone through in my entire life. So she, there were times during all of this that I was like kind of hallucinating. It was weird. I don't know how to explain it. It was like fever dreams. Like you've heard that, like you've seen like in the movies, right? Somebody's like really sick and near death and they're like kind of seeing shit. It was like that. I was like sort of dreaming, but awake. Sometimes it was kind of like lucid dreaming. By the way, I wasn't smoking any weed. I would hit the vape pen here and there because I was hoping it would help with the nausea, but because I wasn't smoking weed, one of the things when you stop smoking weed, when you smoke weed constantly and then you stop, you get these insanely vivid dreams that go on forever. So I was having that. Was this from the steroids? No, dude. I don't know when you came into the story. This all came as a result of Bactrim, which is an antibiotic that they gave me for an infection on my cut ankle. You should watch the show from the beginning later. I explain it all. No, the steroids is what fucking saved my life. The steroids is what helped. That was why, like, when she gave me, when I went to urgent care and she gave me the shot of steroids, it helped a lot. But then I got all fucked up. Oh, wait a minute. Do you mean like the fevered dreams? Was that from the steroids? No, I didn't have any side effects from the steroids. Everything was from the Bactrim or and fucking trying to recover. It was just like, I was so fucked up. I was just like seeing shit. And then like the world's worst nightmare. I mean, I'm going to tell you at one point, because I was relying so much on my meditation training from Sam Harris. There was one moment during all of this, I kind of was like, this is almost feels like a Zen story where I'm at death's door and then I achieve enlightenment. And so I was trying to find the silver lining, going, all right, just don't try, just observe. You know how to be mindful. Just feel everything. Feel every itch. Feel every labored breath, every horrifying heartbeat. Feel it all. Don't become identical to it, but become interested in it. And while I'm doing all that, in the back of my head, I'm going, I hope I become enlightened. But I got to tell you, I never did. There was no point during any of this where I achieved enlightenment. A lot of those Zen stories go like that, right? The dude is trying to achieve enlightenment. He can't do it. He leaves the village. He gets kicked by a horse. And it all, and it fucks him up big time. Almost kills him maybe. And then he achieves enlightenment and walks back to the village and says, hey, turns out I didn't have to go anywhere. What I was looking for was here the whole time. That kind of thing. It didn't happen for me. And so Jordan Palmer's probably wondering, hey, where's that fucking thing Zach was going to mail me? A lot of people were wondering what the fuck happened to me. So anyway, on Saturday, Sheila drove us to Paradise Cove Beach Cafe for lunch. And it was my first time out in a week, and she drove and up the PCH, and it was a sunny, beautiful day, and it was almost as if while she was driving, I woke. Like, it was like I finally got to the end of a horrible acid trip. And I wasn't close to 100% on Saturday, but it was the first time I felt a lot fucking better. And then I basically had to keep resting up Sunday, and then yesterday was the last day of the steroids. So I just decided, I had a doctor's appointment yesterday. I paid. Believe me, Dubstyle, I paid, and I'm taking her out for another dinner. But Paradise Cove Beach Cafe is very fucking expensive, Dubstyle. And yes, I did pay for it. I put that shit on my credit card. No, she's a goddamn saint. Sheila's a fucking saint. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you guys something. I didn't realize that this commercial aired as much as it does, but I bet most of you have seen Sheila and don't even know it. I'm going to show you. All right, hold on a second. You've either seen this version. There's two versions of this commercial, but here, watch. This is muted. So this is for this Embrel. Apparently, it airs constantly. Oops, which I didn't know. And I'll show you the other version, but
I'm Margot. That's me. Long before I had psoriatic arthritis. I've always had an artistic flair, a creative eye. Flash forward.
That's her right there. That's Sheila.
Psoriatic arthritis cramped my style. I told my doctor and found out my joint pain.
And that's Sheila.
Permanent joint damage.
Have you guys seen this commercial?
Helps relieve joint pain.
And that's her voice too. She did the voiceover for this.
Ask about Embrel so you can get
And that's her.
your true self.
Embrel may lower your ability to
That's
fight
her with the
infections,
Polaroid camera there.
sometimes fatal events, including infections,
And that's her
tuberculosis,
right there.
lymphoma, other cancers, nervous system and blood disorders, and allergic reactions have occurred. Tell your doctor. if
And
you
that's
have a
her.
place where fungal
Allergic reactions have occurred. Yes.
infections
Yes, they have. Not with Embrel. There she is. It wasn't me and Embrel that had a problem. It was me and Bactrim. Let's make that clear. There she is right there.
Like the flu.
All right. And
Embrel.com to see how your joint damage could progress.
joint damage. Nothing worse than joint
Approved
damage.
for over 18
So
years.
let's see. Let me get the... let me find the other one. Oh, okay. So here's the other one.
We've always done things
This is the one that apparently they play more often. This is the one my family in Florida has seen a million times.
When I learned that my joint pain could mean permanent joint
That's not her voice on this one.
Embrel helps relieve joint pain and helps
But anyway, that's the woman who fucking saved my life.
you can get back to your truth.
Took me to the ER and took good care of me and the whole fucking thing. So yeah, no, I owe her huge. So we went to, what was I talking about this? We went to Paradise Cove Beach Cafe. I know what I was going to say. So I had a doctor's appointment yesterday, and he says, and then my blood pressure was still pretty fucking high. And I said, well, listen, don't you think having an allergic reaction and trouble breathing and breaking out knives, don't you think that would raise my blood pressure? And he said that the allergic reaction should not raise my blood pressure. It doesn't work that way. And I said, well, I stopped taking the blood pressure medication a few days ago. I said, my body's been turned into a fucking chemistry set. This is what I want to do, Doc. I want to do what I was going to do before I ended up in the emergency room. I want to get all the crap out of my body, all the, finish the steroids, get everything done, and let me go back to eating the way I normally do, exercising the way I normally do. Let me go back to my lifestyle and let's see what my blood pressure is. And he said, yeah. He goes, I would hate to put you on medication because of white coat syndrome, meaning that my blood pressure is just high in the doctor's office because I'm anxious or whatever. So basically I'm going to monitor my blood pressure for the next month. And if it's normal, then I don't need to be on something. And if it's, 140 or higher on average, then I'll go on the stupid blood pressure medicine. But I'm not going to do it until I have, a good month of eating right and exercising, and which is the norm for me. That's not like that's unusual. It's like, yeah, normally I eat real fucking healthy and I do jiu-jitsu a lot. So trying to think what else. I mean, I'm sure there might be other things that come up, but that's basically it. I'm hive free. I finished. Oh, so yeah, I was like, I'm gonna do my cast and go back to jiu-jitsu on Wednesday because I would have been done with all of the medications, all the doctor's appointments, fucking everything. And can't lie, when I am in the shower, like when I take a shower, the water hitting my body, it still feels a little weird, like some residual ecstasy or something. It's like, did I, I'm like, am I still rolling a little bit from yesterday? It has that kind of, so it's not actually bad. It's just kind of weird. It's just like, all kind of tingly and shit. So there you go, my friends. I can breathe, and I have no hives. I'm not scratching, and I'm gonna go to jiu-jitsu tonight and hopefully strangle somebody. And that is that. What time we got? Oh, okay, it's 6:45. All right, let's do a couple of quick fucking stories. And so yeah, ZZ Top, this sucks. Love ZZ Top, and bummed to hear about Dusty Hill dying. Chinese embassy blasts ugly Reuters for using shameless photo of gold medalist. What happened here? Among all the photos of the game, Reuters has chosen this one, which only shows how ugly they are. Don't put politics and ideologies above sports and call yourself an unbiased media organization. Shameless. What? I'm confused. China's Hugh wins 49 kilogram weightlifting gold. What's wrong with the photo? Does anybody following what happened here? Here. By the way, Yahoo on certain stories will allow accomplishments. Accomplishments. I was reading comments rather. What am I missing? She doesn't have arthritis. That's funny. Are they just saying it's not a good photo? I don't understand. Well, can somebody explain this to me? I'm not being a dick. They should have used this one, which sums up China perfectly. That's fucking hilarious. They're saying, what, it makes her look ugly? Okay, so I guess they're saying it's not a flattering photo, but she's a weightlifter, right? So isn't this kind of like, oh yeah, fucking did it? Like if I won a jiu-jitsu tournament, it was like, yeah, and I'd be like, yeah, man, I'm fucking pumped. This is so stupid. Fuck China. Oh boy. The CDC recommends vaccinated people in some locations, K through 12 schools, wear masks indoors. Oh my God. Oh, is that what it is? Because it's not obviously a woman. Is that a woman? I think that's a woman. Pretty sure it's a woman. Just got an emergency alert telling me about the impending Rona doom in LA, where 62% of the pop is vaxxed, 70% partially vaxxed, some regions over 80% vaxxed. I don't think I got this. I usually get these emergency alert things. I don't think I got this one. Looks like there's a police chase though. No. Maybe it's over. Let's take a moment.
At some point today, you will have a strongly negative reaction to something. You'll feel a sudden burst of anxiety, or anger, or shame, or some other negative emotion. Prepare yourself now for this ambush. Imagine that your life is a video game, and at this level, in order not to die, you need to utterly relax and become deeply curious the moment a strong negative emotion arises. And every second counts. You want to catch this change in your experience as quickly as possible, and then penetrate it fully with mindfulness. And you're not pushing anything away, right? On the contrary, you're experiencing whatever you feel as fully as you can. There should be no resistance. Allow yourself to become incandescent with anxiety or anger or shame, but don't get distracted by your thoughts. Just notice thoughts as thoughts and return to the feeling itself with interest and compassion, and then see what happens.
Are you guys see you, Dub? Are you guys as sick of COVID as I am? No pun intended. I just don't care anymore. I'm fully vaccinated. I wasn't that worried about it before I was vaccinated because, I'm healthy. I don't think it's a nothing thing. So I got vaccinated, but I just don't care. Like I see these articles, people should still get vaccinated even if they've already had the Kung flu. Health agencies and medical experts say, well, okay, I don't care. I'm bored of it. I'm bored. Why is Geraldo trending? Gives a shit. Okay, I don't care what Geraldo has to say. California city is running out of water. Google's trending. Google and Facebook will require employees to be vaccinated upon return to offices. 3 major companies announced Kung flu vaccine mandates: Google, Facebook, and Netflix. Wow. So's BlackRock, Morgan Stanley, Saks Fifth Avenue, Washington Post, Ascension Health, and Lyft. Wow. So, a Pasadena startup got billions selling COVID tests. Then came questions. Okay. Girls Who Code. Shouldn't this be called Girl Who Codes? Because there's like one of them out there. Hey, that's sexist. Just joking. Cryptocurrency has a bro problem. Women in the field say they could disrupt the Bitcoin Brotherhood. Everything is so boring. I just don't care. All this fake outrage. Tyler Perry's sisters airing on BET. Vaccinated people spread Kung flu, get COVID, and die of COVID. Sounds like the people who aren't vaxxed. What? Okay. Vaccinated people spread Kung flu, get Kung flu, die of Kung flu. Sounds like people who aren't vaxxed. Also, early numbers released in the UK for Delta show that more vaxxed people died than... Yeah, ibuprofen, I just don't care. I just don't give a fuck. Do whatever you want to do. If you don't want to get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated. I don't give a shit if you do or you don't. I don't understand the people who do. They're like, well, but they're... I'm like, it's their choice. If you get vaccinated, then you're protected. So then what do you care if they don't get vaccinated? They've chosen to not wear a seatbelt. What do you care? I don't care. I just don't give a flying fuck. And forcing, my agents are now saying I have to and killing my work. Look, I don't know. Both my things went blue. I don't know why they want to do this vaccine passport thing. It's, if you chose to not have your kid vaccinated when he was born, that's a choice parents make, right? They do it for religious reasons. They do it for all kinds of reasons. People say, I don't want my kid vaccinated. So, if your kid gets polio or the measles or some shit because, you didn't get him vaccinated, that's up to you. But maybe your kid never gets polio or the measles and he benefited from not, right after being born, being filled with chemicals. I mean, it's up to the individual to make this decision. I don't understand how people are okay with mandating it. Why don't you mandate tetanus shots? That doesn't affect other people. Well, people not being vaccinated doesn't affect you either if you're vaccinated. If you're vaccinated, what do you care if this guy's not? You could still spread it yourself just as easily as this cunt can spread it. I don't get it. Thank you for not supporting the agenda, just being okay with people doing what they want. I am always for individual rights. That's why in philosophy, I'm a libertarian, at heart, philosophically speaking. Let's see what this is. The fuck are we watching? Someone just playing it backwards? That's hilarious. That's pretty fucked up. That's pretty funny. Hey, get back in there, you little fucker. Shit. What do we got here? Trading in the zone. I got to get back on PI. I don't even read it. It's Bob Saget. I like it. He's performing. Man. Yeah, everybody that's going to call that racist is going to be white. Cuomo lawyer who was figure in sexual misconduct allegations set to resign. Whatever. Cuomo the homo. Revolver news and okay. What? Fuck you, AOC. You're a dumb cunt. She just makes me want to vomit. I don't know who I see Nancy Pelosi and I want to vomit into AOC's mouth. All right, let's see what's going on over here. Biden haters banners that town called obscene can stay up. Court rules. Oh, brother. Let's see. Oh, yeah. This is great. Don't blame me. I voted for Trump. Joe Biden sucks. New Jersey woman. That looks like a New Jersey woman. She looks like Tony Soprano. Thanks, ibuprofen. I appreciate that. A New Jersey woman can leave up several banners. Local officials called an obscenity, but people don't understand the difference between obscene and indecent. Anyway, the ACLU actually helped somebody for once. It's been a while. The ACLU is so woke, but they helped New Jersey. This Tony Soprano-looking woman fight a municipal judge's order that she take the banners off a fence outside the house where she lives with her mother, or face $250 a day in fines. The ACLU joined the case. Roselle Park officials backpedaled on their earlier demand that Dick take down the banners and effectively drop the matter. Her name is Dick. I feel amazing, Dick, 54 said. She's glad it's over. Added Dick. This Dick feels amazing. And it's being added. Add the Dick. Let's see. She's a diehard fan of Trump. I saw someone did like a montage of Trump saying crazy shit. I mean, there's a lot of those out there, but I just happened to watch one recently that was just done particularly well, and goddamn was he funny. Yeah, you got to add that Dick. I mean, some of you forget some of it, and you forget how fucking savage it was. You're like, I haven't seen this. It's like I remember. What the fuck? It's like I remember all of these moments, but when it's been a while and you put them back to back, it's like, fuck, Trump was the funniest comedian from 2016 to 2020. I think you're right. You know, one of the things I was thinking, there's been a few comedians that have done that White House press conference thing and have been just savage toward the president. I mean, Colbert with George W. I mean, I'd have to go through and look because I want to make sure I'm trying to remember who did. Did Jon Stewart do one? I mean, there was a few comedians that were just savages and were really, really funny. When Colbert was funny, remember when, believe it or not, some of you youngins might not know this. Stephen Colbert actually used to have a sense of humor and do satire and was funny. Colbert Report was amazing. He was great on The Daily Show. It's like Leno. Jay Leno was an amazing comedian, and then he did that schlocky Tonight Show. That's what Colbert did. He was this great satirist, and then he just sold out and does a schlocky late night talk show. I mean, it must be so much fucking money. It's so funny too. All these comedians that want those shows, and it's like they're so lame. They're like, you watch these late night talk shows, and it looks like something your high school would have produced for like a homecoming week or something. Colbert definitely made you laugh a decade ago. Jon Stewart is still great. But point is, there's been some savage comedians at that White House press dinner dealio. And in this montage of Trump and his savage takedowns, there was a clip of him at the, I forget what it is. I don't know. Maybe I might be conflating my dinners. These fucking faggots have so many dinners like they're kings and queens. You forget them. But the one where it's supposed to be kind of like a funny thing, you know, like where the president, and it was before Trump was elected, I believe. It was like the run up to the election. They have this dinner and Trump and Hillary are both there, and they both got up and took turns doing comedy, right? And it's a really great shot because when Trump is talking, all of the press is behind him. You could see everybody behind him, you know, and you could see their reactions and how horrified they are. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? And this is the one where Trump says, Hillary bumped into me earlier and she said, pardon me. And it got a big laugh, and Hillary is laughing, her big fake laugh, and she's like, "Oh, that's a good one. That was good. That was good. I'm a sport. That was good, right?" And then Trump, hold on. Then Trump fucking goes off the rails and gets like really dark. And just savage, and he's just like, it's just, you know, just goes to town on her. No jokes, just pure savagery. And it gets insanely uncomfortable, and some cardinal or one of these religious faggots that wears a giant dress and for some reason you're supposed to respect, I don't know, because he fucks kids and gets away with it. Anyway, he like leans into Hillary to like give her some words as it's incredibly uncomfortable. I could find it. You guys, I know you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I'm watching this thing. And I had seen it when it had happened. And all I could think was, you know, this is really uncomfortable. It's savage. But if somebody like Colbert had done this to Bush, people would have thought it was great. Now, he would have been funnier, first of all. But the other thing is that it was who it was against, and it was how uncomfortable it got. It was like, that's a whole other level. Let me find it for you. I just couldn't help but to think that had somebody the left done this, that they would have cheered it. Oh, man, I'm trying to... Do you guys know which dinner I'm talking about? Stewart on Colbert a couple weeks ago was friggin' awesome. Absolutely. Fucking was absolutely awesome. I watched too many goddamn YouTube videos. So the sheriff's department cashed my CCW check. And from what I've read from other people, most people after their check was cashed were scheduled for an interview about 5 weeks later. And so hopefully that will be the case for me. Oh, here it is. I found it. All right. Let me find the dinner I'm talking about there. Yeah, this one right here. This dinner here. I forget what this was.
This room, who have known and loved me for many, many years. It's true. The politicians. They've had me to their homes. They've introduced me to their children.
Titties back there are really nice.
I've become
hey, don't cover them.
best friends
yeah, look at
in
those.
many instances.
Fucking like to rest those titties on my
asked for my
head.
endorsement, and they always wanted my money. And even called me really a dear, dear friend. But then, suddenly, decided when I ran for president as a Republican that I've always been a no-good, rotten, disgusting scoundrel.
She's not a
And they totally
butterface.
forgot about me.
She's gorgeous. I forget her name.
That's okay. No doubt that Hillary is going to laugh quite a bit tonight. Sometimes even at an appropriate moment. Last night, we have proven that we can actually be
Look at.
civil to each other. In fact, just before taking the dais,
Oh yeah. So
Hillary accidentally bumped into me, and she very civilly said, "Pardon me."
now watch her laugh. Ha 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 ha! Look at that giant mouth. Her mouth agape, ready to take 12 black cocks in it at the same time. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yep. That was good. That was good. Ha ha
And
ha.
I very politely replied, "Let me talk to you about that after I get into office."
No,
But
she
one of the things I noticed tonight,
she won't be laughing long though.
and I've known Hillary for a long time, is this is the first time ever, that Hillary is sitting down and speaking to major corporate leaders and not getting paid for it.
Funny. That's a good one, Donald.
So, you know, last night, a nasty woman. But this stuff is all relative. After listening to Hillary rattle on and on and on, I don't think
This is where the
so
fun
badly
stops.
of Rosie O'Donnell anymore.
Oh no,
In
we're not
fact-
quite there.
I'm actually starting to like Rosie a lot.
Wait, it's what's her name? Nora O'Donnell, I think.
These events
Is that her right? Nora
give not
O'Donnell.
only the candidates a chance to be with each other in a very social setting, it also allows the candidates the opportunity to meet the other candidates' team. Good team.
Good team.
I know Hillary met my campaign manager, and I got the chance to meet the people who are working so hard to get her elected. There they are, the heads of NBC, CNN, CBS, ABC.
Look at the way these
there's the New
assholes are
York Times
dressed,
right
by
over
the way.
there, and the Washington Post.
Fucking
They're working
stupid,
overtime. True.
stupid fucking
True.
hair. Stupid metal around his stupid fucking neck.
Now,
Is
I
he-
told Hillary, went to confession before tonight's event. But the priest was having a hard time when he asked her about her sins, and she said she couldn't remember 39 times.
Hey, it's not so funny.
Hillary is
It's not so
so
funny.
corrupt.
Here we go. This is when all
She
the
got
fun
kicked
stops.
off the Watergate Commission.
Look at this fucking guy. He has no neck. Boo.
Corrupt you have to be. You get kicked off the Watergate Commission. Pretty corrupt.
Okay.
Hillary is and has been in politics since the 70s.
Take a drink, Hillary.
What's her pitch?
Get,
The economy is busted. The government's corrupt. Washington is failing. Vote for me. I've been working on these problems for 30 years. I can fix it, she says. I wasn't really sure if Hillary was going to be here tonight because I guess you didn't send her invitation by email. Or maybe you did, and she just found out about it through the wonder of WikiLeaks. We've learned so much from WikiLeaks. For example, Hillary believes that it's vital to deceive the people by having one public policy and a totally different policy in private. That's okay. I don't know who they're angry at, Hillary. You're right. For example, here she is tonight in public,
This is so fun.
pretending not to hate Catholics. Now, if some of you haven't noticed, Hillary isn't laughing as much as the rest of us. That's because she knows the jokes.
Look at that child fucker next to her.
And all of the jokes were given to her in advance of the dinner by Donna Brazil, which is, everyone knows, of course, Hillary's belief that it takes a village, which only makes sense, after all, in places like Haiti, where she's taken a number of them.
And now Biden's bombing Haiti.
Thank you.
No
I
one.
don't know, and I don't want this evening without saying something nice about my opponent.
For more infotainment.
So, I mean, nobody's even talking about the fact that Biden is bombing Haiti. Oh, boy, that was some funny shit, man. But, so that was some Catholic dinner thing. I forget exactly what it was. But, yeah, it was before they even had the election, before he won. And, all right, but could you imagine if Colbert had been that savage towards George W. Bush? People would have loved it. But it was, man, I don't know. It was fucking wild. And Colbert was savage, but that's a whole different thing, man. Oh, brother. Black women are tired. Keisha Bottoms told you all we're tired. Naomi Osaka told you all we're tired. Now Simon says Biles is telling you all we all tired. People want us to take on the world for the benefit while actively tearing us down. We're magic, but we ain't superhuman. I'm tired too. Oh, brother. Liberals have pumped these imbeciles up to the point where they actually believe they're important to society. It's ridiculous. If they disappeared tomorrow, the only thing we'd notice would be more room on subway seats and less loudmouths bitching about bullshit. Gotta love Anthony Cumia. Better fall Saul. It's kind of funny. Poor Bob Odenkirk. What is this? A white male should never tell a female to wait her turn. We've waited over 100 years. Time for women to lead something new. Shut up. You can walk that one back any way that you wish. Since you're new here, a tip: respect the press, and it'll make your job easier, and they'll respect you back. Respect Florida's constitutional officers while you're at it. Good day. I don't know what any of this is. Nikki Fried versus Nikki Fried's communications director. That's funny. That's really fucking funny. That's too funny. What a fucking stupid world. All you could do at this point, my friends, is just laugh. Oh, man. Tennessee man who hid in Walgreens until closing and tunneled through wall to steal opioids. Identified. All right. What do we got here? Your coworker. My weekend was pretty chill, Vegas. I don't know what this is, but I like it. It's a hot girl. I don't know what the audio is about. Okay. Yeah, did you guys hear that Matt Stone and Trey Parker are trying to buy Casa Bonita? They featured it in the show, and I guess it's up for sale or something. They're talking about buying it. Former Iowa high school principal kills himself amid sexual misconduct probe. Fun. At least he saved us some time, I guess. Chuck Schumer. I just see Chuck Schumer. I keep scrolling. Sorry, sir. Your passport says you're only on your 9th vaccination and we don't sell bread to racists. That's pretty funny. Ron Popeil died. Oh, man. Not Ron Popeil. I heard all kinds of shit. I love infomercials, and I don't know if you know this. My friend Sully from the Brobots, he's a pitchman, and his older brother is a really famous pitchman. You've seen him. It's Anthony Sullivan for OxyClean. So Anthony Sullivan, that's his big brother. And my buddy Jeremy is a pitchman on Home Shopping Network or QVC. I forget which. I forget what he's doing right now. But anyway, I got a lot of friends that are in this business and never met Ron Popeil, but loved him growing up. Pocket fisherman, spray on hair in a can. Made it to 86. I remember I never got to meet my friend Anthony Sullivan. He used to do a reality show called Pitchman with Billy Mays, and I never got to meet Billy Mays before he died. This is TMZ. He lived life to the fullest, passed away in the loving arms of his family. Trailblazer. Meteoric rise began on a small table in Chicago's Maxwell Street. Where he sold kitchen products. His sales pitches and his ability to connect with audiences from all walks of life quickly became must-see live entertainment as hundreds gathered each day to marvel at his sales shows in the marquee booth at Woolworth's flagship store number 1 in Chicago. 1959 transformed his craft, bringing a magical pitch from state fairs to the TV airwaves with his first infomercial for the Chopo-Matic. Marketed hundreds of products to a global TV audience, becoming a mainstay of late-night TV. Appeared in dozens of cameos in motion pictures and television shows. Played by Dan Aykroyd on SNL in '76. Garnered more views and more hours of American TV than any other celebrity or TV personality. His hallmark phrase, "But wait, there's more. Set it and forget it." Less shipping and handling, and price countdown set the standard for direct marketing and as seen on TV merchandise. All of his innovations are archived by the Smithsonian Institute. I started the script on a pitchman, but the co-writer. Sorry to hear that, ibuprofen. Under his company Ronco, he sold a wide range of market-making products. The Pocket Fisherman, Mr. Microphone, music compilation record collections, GLH Hair in a Can, Eggshell Scrambler, the Eggshell Scrambler, the Rhinestone Stud Center, later called the Bedazzler. Famously profiled by Malcolm Gladwell in the primary chapter of his best-selling book, What the Dog Saw. I love Malcolm Gladwell's books. I've got one I have to read still. He was a perfectionist, a tinkerer to his core. Uncanny ability to identify a need the consumer didn't realize existed, only then to engineer a product that delivered its promise flawlessly. Well, I don't know about that. I remember being a little kid and my mom ordering me stuff from Ronco, and the running joke in the house came that we kept buying stuff from Ronco and it was all garbage. We're but it seems so cool. And then you got it and it was, horrible. authentic and unapproachable, approachable rather, unabashedly authentic and approachable. Guinness World Record for the largest collection of olive oil. Titan in the community of business leaders. Director of MGM Resorts International for more than 3 decades. Left an indelible mark in creating Vegas and a global entertainment brand. I didn't know that. Wow. I know a lot about Vegas history too, and I had no idea. Avid fisherman, snow skier, sailor, adventure seeker, dog lover. Entourage. Husband, father. Survived by his wife, of course. His daughters. Grandchildren. Very fucking sad, but that's a good life, man. Ron Popeil did it up. He had a good life. He had a good run. Made millions, did what he loved, had a loving family, died at a good age. Oh, wow, look at this.
I'm vaccinated right now and 12 years old and up. And look, I'm a parent. My kids went to New York City public schools. If my kids were going to school in September, I would be running to get them vaccinated right now. And like was said a moment ago, we used to do this as parents all the time for a variety of vaccinations. We've got to shake people at this point and say, come on now. We tried voluntary. We could not have been more kind and compassionate as a country. Free testing everywhere you turn, incentives, friendly, warm embrace. The voluntary phase is over. We can keep doing those things. I'm not saying shut it down. I'm saying voluntary alone doesn't work. It's time for mandates because 12 years old.
Wow. Wow. That's pretty fucked up, my friends. Fucking unbelievable. It's some wacky times, my friends. Again, I'm fully vaccinated, but I think this is nuts. Come on, man. I've been meaning to post this for you. Thank you, New Discourse. All right, cool. Fucking love Jimmy Dore. I look forward to seeing him at Flappers soon. All right. All right. I think I got to wrap things up, my friends. This woman can keep her fuck Trump signs. Obviously. Holly Madison says worrying about her weight while living in the Playboy Mansion was not worth it. I look like a stick.
So for a recent post, I was looking for pictures of myself in a bunny costume.
Okay. Let's just watch.
And I came across one, and it reminded me of a moment in my life where I was watching a playback of myself in a fashion show, and I thought, oh my God, I need to lose weight. And I'm sharing this because I think it might help people realize that sometimes our body dysmorphia is off the charts, and I really feel like worrying about what I look like has gotten in the way of me living my best life and being as happy as I could be and really enjoying life as much as I could. And I hope that people can take a minute to think about how they think about their own body, and is it holding you back by feeling bad about yourself? And is it even, it's not worth it. It's not worth feeling bad about yourself. Like, there are things we all want to improve about ourselves, but it's not even worth taking the time to be miserable, because I looked at myself when I looked like this, and was terrified and thought I had gained weight and thought that I hadn't stuck to my diet, and I thought that my thighs were huge, and I thought I need to lose 5 pounds at least. And that's ridiculous. I look like a stick.
5 pounds. I could give you 5 pounds on that one. Listen, this is fucking retarded. Your job was being a model. It's like, this is like, when I was writing that TV show, Seinfeld, and making millions of dollars, I look back and go, that was kind of really hard work, and I wasn't just, living my best life. There was a lot of frustrating days, and I don't know that it was worth it. It's like, dude, you just described everybody's life. You should feel bad about yourself. Not bad about yourself, but you should look at yourself critically and go, how could I improve? And if you choose a career, that means, well, I assume that you like what you do, and you decided, you know what, it's worth it to be on the road a lot to be a comedian, or it's worth it to go to a lot of years of extra school to be a doctor. In other words, there's always some kind of trade-off to do the thing that you love to do. And apparently what you had to offer the world was looking super hot and fucking an old man for fame and fortune. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's what you did. You fucked an old man for money. You're just one of the best, most successful prostitutes of all time. And believe me, as a comedian, I'm a prostitute too. I ain't judging, but come on, let's be honest with what happened there. You just regret, what else did you have to offer? Did you have did you have a vaccine? Did you have a disease cure to offer us? Or what did you have to offer? Being smoking hot and going on a reality show and being a kook and fucking an old dude for money. All right. This is kind of funny. I got to wrap shit up soon. I got to get ready for jiu-jitsu. Oh, yeah. But I got to see what this is. Biden claims 3 reasons he ran for president, forgets to name one of them.
Took it seriously. I said I was running for 3 reasons. 1, to restore the soul of this country, a sense of decency and honor. But secondly, to rebuild the backbone of the country. Hard-working, middle-class folks who built this country. And I want to point out, unions built the middle class. That's not a joke. Unions built the middle class.
And you destroyed it.
By the way, in case you regret anything, I just want you guys and women in the union know that if it weren't for the UAW in 1972, I never would have won. You think I'm kidding? We had the largest percentage of union workers of any state in the nation in Delaware back then, including Michigan, because we're a small state and we had big plants. But so before you get upset, remember you're to blame. Oh, I got it. Look, folks, I think a lot of us come from similar backgrounds. Moms, dads, brothers, sisters, family.
Crackheads.
People get up every day, work hard, raise their families, pay their taxes.
Bomb countries.
Serve their communities and serve their country.
That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. He just never named the third one. He just never got around to it. I thought it was going to be better than that. I thought it was going to be number 1, number 2, and hey, anybody want to go to McDonald's? What else do we have here before I bail? Florida man brutally beaten, put in coma after asking neighbors to lower music. Well, fuck, it must have been some... What were they listening to? It must have been something very aggressive. Imagine that you find out that they were like listening to yacht rock. It's like, I was at home and I couldn't handle hearing Sailing or any Lionel Richie for the millionth time. So I just asked them to please lower the yacht rock, and they beat me into a coma. Disturbed, New York City woman stabbed mom after she refused to recite prayer, according to cops. Mom of dead toddler knew accused killer wanted their son cold. The fuck? Not so fast, Joe. Pelosi says Biden cannot cancel student loans. What is this? Greek sports commentator fired for shocking comment about South Korean athlete. Their eyes are narrow, so I can't understand how they can see the ball moving back and forth. Kimura said with a laugh when asked about the skill of South Korean table tennis players. Brother. Fucking New York City, Ben & Jerry's says West Bank ban is freezing sales. Vows donation to Israel. What is this? London's new $3 billion tourist attraction slammed as refunds are offered. Hollowed out mountain installation. Okay, whatever. Let's see what the most read is on Reason Magazine. CDC wants vaccinated Americans to wear masks again. New Florida bill could criminalize filming cops on the job. That's retarded. How do you do that? That's going to be found unconstitutional, I'm sure. Companies that dominate today may be gone tomorrow. Judges say web design is pure speech and that the state can compel it anyway. What? Federal appeals court sneaks in one final ruling against the CDC's expiring eviction moratorium. What is this? A divided three-judge panel found that designing a custom wedding website is pure speech. Under Colorado's anti-discrimination law, appellants are forced to create websites and thus speech that they would otherwise refuse. Gee, so they're going to make you design the website that people want? It says giving a conscience-based exemption to a website. Okay, whatever. Listen, guys, I can't just live your lives. What can I tell you, my friends? Live your fucking lives. Ignore this nonsense. So many evangelicals who suddenly become policy experts and have complete loss. All right, my friends. Have a beautiful night. It's good to be back. I'll see you tomorrow, probably closer to 5 p.m. like I'm supposed to be. And look at this. There are better ways to end the pandemic. Biden's plan to require all federal workers to get vaccinated is pretty legit, but manning the shot. All right, whatever. Okay, I can't take any more. Dude, what's up with the hate on Biles? I usually couldn't care less about that shit, but it just seems pointless. Or do I not know something? Oh, yeah, I can answer that real quick. It's fucking silly. I guess she didn't compete. She dropped out of a team gymnastics event, I guess because she was having a panic attack or she was anxious or she had some other kind of mental distress. And she's like, I need to drop out for my mental health. And some people are like, yay, you're a hero. Do what's right for you. And way to bring attention to mental health awareness. And other people are like, holy shit, what a pussy. You know, you're like so fragile that you just bailed on the Olympics because of your mental health. And then people are mad, hey, you don't know what it's like. And so it's nonsense. I don't give a fuck about any of it. I just like calling her Biles because I just think it's funny. Her name is Bile. It sounds like bile. So I just think it's funny to say, you know, Simon says bile. Blech. Simon says blech, Biles. I don't know. I'm just being silly. I don't give a shit what. I hate the Olympics. Don't give a fuck what anybody does. I wouldn't care if they just got rid of the Olympics altogether. I'd be like, good. Give a shit. When I was a kid, I hated it because there was only so many TV channels. It was like, oh, this is all that's on, and it's so fucking stupid. Stupid sports, stupid countries. It's all like this. What is it? Jingoism? Is that the correct expression for this insane patriotism over your fucking corner of the globe? And then all the people that, you know, make money off of it, all the corporations and the people who dedicate their stupid lives to these stupid sports to really, what do they get out of it? I mean, Ronda Rousey made her money in the UFC and in pro wrestling, not in getting a fucking medal in the Olympics. I call her Simone, stuff that breaks down food in your body. Nice. I didn't even know that's what bile was for. Is that what bile does? So thanks for watching. I would love it if you would hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, hit the little notification bell so you know when I go live. And of course, it would mean the world to me if you went to zachwaldman.com/fans. Join the fan club or click on some affiliate links to support the show, make a donation. I need I got to put this on my wish list. I need a new Zoom. Mine is fucked up. A new Zoom H4n Pro. But thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow at 5. Have a beautiful night. Be safe. As always, I love you all more than chocolate cake. And of course, I'm going to play you out with the good Reverend Carl. And away we go.
It's 2 a.m., 14 below, it's closed. My work is done, but I'm feeling low, and I wanna play the night away, the night away. I can't stand to be alone. I gotta bring over some people to fill up my empty home. Yes, I do now. I'm having a party, having a party, having a party. I'm having a party, people, and a party, people. Well. Put out the word to the chosen few. I got the SMC, my friends. Bring your choice of brews, your choice of brews. The balls is on and the mood is set. The candles burn as the turntables turn by the TV set. Yes, they do now. Having a party, having a party, having a party. I'm having a party, people, and a party, people, and everybody's getting down now. Party people, having a party, having a party, we having a party, people, and a party, people. Well, the monster man is feeling smooth. While in the mirror he's busting moves till he finds his groove, till he finds his groove. A Johnny Poet is feeling numb. He's gonna drink until the sunlight comes out to play. He's always running away. Where are your shoes today now? Having a party, having a party, having a party. We having a party, people. People, and everybody's getting down now. Party people, having a party, having a party. We having a party, people, and a party, people. She's having plenty of fun. He's been drinking them 21s like they're going out of style. A jungleberry is scabbing tails. He'll smoke all the weed you have if you let him away with it. Let him away with it. Let him away with it. Away with it. Away with it now. Having a party. Having a party. Having a party. We having a party. People, dressed in plaid. He'd like to bop the night away, 'cause he's come a long way from that Ventura County. Girly girl by the telephone, she's been waiting on a man to call so she can share her love.